Hey everybody, welcome to another Cricut craft tutorial. Today I'm going to teach you guys how to make stickers. You can use these stickers for all kinds of things. A lot of people like to use them for their planners. It's really actually pretty easy once you kind of learn how to do it, and it's a lot of fun. You can customize all of your items. So first we'll start off with making something really simple, and I'll show you how to do this one. We're going to just start with one of the Cricut shapes. So we'll go ahead and click Shapes on the left hand side. And I'm going to go ahead and pick a star. I don't want him that big, so we'll just resize him by coming down to the lower right hand corner and sliding him. That looks like a decent size. Now it's all going to depend on what size your planners are as to how big you're going to want to make your stickers. Now I don't want just a plain colored star. I'd like him to have some sort of a fun pattern in him. So I'm going to show you guys how to load a pattern today. All I'm going to do is go over to Google, and I'm just going to type in pattern. I'm just going to go over into my images, and you'll see it brings up all sorts of options for patterns. So just scroll until you find one you like. Mine's being a little bit slow today, so we'll just go with this one. This one's pretty fun. So all we're going to do is right click on it and click Save Image As. I'm just going to save it as blue pattern in my Cricut folder on my desktop. We're going to come back over into Design Space and click Upload. Normally we would use the cut images, this one right here. But today we're going to go over to the right hand side and do Pattern Fill. We're going to go ahead and click Upload Pattern and Browse. And we're going to find our pattern in our folder and double click it. Here is our pattern. Now you can change your name, you can change any of your themes, any styles, things like that. You can choose that if you want. I don't typically do any of that. I don't need to. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save. And it may take a minute because some of these files are a little bit large, especially the more complex that you have. Now you'll see that it doesn't show in your uploaded images. That's okay. It will be in your Design Space. So we'll go back up to the right hand corner and click Canvas, and that takes us back to our star. We need to change our star to a print. So in order to do this, you come over to the right hand side, and right here where the scissors are, click on those and click on the print icon. Now we could make him just a plain color if we want, but we want to try the pattern. So all we're going to do is instead of colors, we're going to come over here and click Patterns. And it will bring up the patterns you have loaded as well as Cricut patterns. If you have access, some of them are free. I don't have access. So all I'm going to do is click the pattern that I liked and did, and that's going to put it in our star, and I'll make him bigger so you can see him. Now I will tell you with this one, I don't like this pattern, and I should have looked closer, because if you look you can see through the star, which means when it goes to cut it, it's going to cut all the little lines. So you need to be careful with your patterns. So okay, that pattern doesn't work. Not the end of the world. We'll just change it to a different one. So I have this one loaded. We'll use this one. So there we go. We have our patterned star. Like I said, you just kind of got to be careful about what you load. Clearly that pattern was not the winner. So now I want to show you guys how to do a sticker that maybe has a picture on it. I am going to go ahead and do it from the scratch, even though I do have it already loaded. So I wanted to do a sunshine, and it's this one right here, down here at the bottom, but I'll show him from the beginning so that you guys can see. I'm going to go ahead and click Upload Image, and I've already found him on Google, and you can choose whatever image you want. You know what, let's do this one. I'll show you the carrot. So I want to do a carrot sticker. He's already an SVG, so we don't have to delete any of his background. So we're going to pick Complex because he does have a lot of colors and detail. I'm going to go ahead and click Continue, and it's going to take a second, again, just because some of these vector files are a little bit more detailed. So if he had any background, you could delete it here, or you can delete whatever you don't want if you don't want the top of the carrot or whatever it may be. So we'll go ahead and click Continue, and in this case, we do want to save him as a print, then cut image. So make sure you save the one on the left. We'll go ahead and click Save, and again, it takes a minute. And we're going to go ahead and insert our image. So select your image and click Insert Images. This is going to be way big for a sticker, so I'm going to reduce the size. Again, my planner, I think about 1 inch long will do for a carrot. this would be a cute one to use for grocery shopping, things like that. So there is our super cute carrot. Now, a lot of people like to use the small bars at the top of their, maybe their weeks or their days for like to-do lists, things like that. Super fun, super easy to do. All we're going to do is go to our shapes and open a square. You'll want to pre-measure your planner in order to do this so that you know how big your stickers need to be for your top. So my stickers are about 0.75 tall, and they're usually about 2 inches wide. Mine's kind of a strangely sized one, so I'm going to do this at about 2 inches. If you can't get it exact, remember you guys can always go up here and just type in that you know that it's 2 inches wide, and that makes it exactly 2. Now, I don't want plain gray. It's kind of boring. So for this one, I'm going to go back over here and select it to print. And then I'm going to pick a color. I think I'll go with lavender. And you guys can change your color to any shade you want down here. So we'll go ahead and use lavender. We'll make it nice and springy. Now I want it to say to do in it. So all I need to do is open a text box and type to do. And I'm going to change the color. We're going to need this to also be set to print. So just change it to print by clicking the scissors and clicking the printer. And I'm going to make it very berry because I think that would look kind of fun on the square. So you'll need to reduce your size of your words so that they fit on your square. And you can change your font. I'm just going to leave it for Cricut Sans today. So there is our to do. Now, you need to make sure that this is actually going to stay on top of your square. So select both items. You can either draw the square around them or control and click each item. And we want to click the word flatten down here in the lower right-hand corner. And what that's going to do is it's just going to make it one piece so that when it prints and when it cuts, it's only going to print and cut that one single piece. So we have our carrot, which we just took off of Google. We have a star, which we used a pattern in, a box, and a to-do list. And we can also do a really fun background image. So a lot of people like to take their weekly days, their to-do things, and make a very pretty color patterned background to write on. So again, I know that I have about 2 inches wide to work with, so I'm just going to take it to 2 inches wide. Make sure you do unlock your square by clicking the lower left-hand lock button. And I know that I can work with about 4.5 inches down. So I'll leave a little bit of leeway, and I'm just going to go ahead and fix that 2 inches. So this is the space I have to work with to write on for my daily to-do list. I want to do a pattern in this one, so we're going to pick a new pattern since that one just did not work. We'll find something, let's do something really fun and colorful. Oh, these bubbles are kind of fun. Let's do these bubbles. So all we have to do is save our image as, and I'm just going to save it as bubbles. Go back to your Cricut design space and click upload. You're going to upload the pattern, click browse, and find your bubbles or whatever you saved in your Cricut folder or wherever you save your items. So this is what it's showing us. Perfect, we'll go with that. We don't need to do anything to it. You can select themes, styles, things like that if you would like to. It just makes it easier for you to find them later. Again, we won't see it in our uploads. That's okay. So we'll wait for this to go away. We'll click Canvas, and that takes us back. So we need to change our rectangle over here to a print by clicking the scissors, clicking the print, and we want to go to Patterns. It's going to load all the patterns we have loaded, and we're going to use the bubbles. It's going to take a second, and it loads our bubbles onto our sheet. There are lots of different patterns you can do. So if I wanted to specifically look up floral pattern, you could do that. You could just look up floral. If I could spell, we'd be doing great. So we're going to look up floral pattern, and it's going to bring up lots and lots of options. And you guys, there are endless options. These are really pretty, so we'll go ahead and do a square with these. So I'm going to save my image as, I'm just going to save it as flower pattern. And I'm going to do the same thing. Go to Cricut, upload your pattern, browse it. You're just going to find it in your folder. I went way too far. because I clearly can't spell today. Click on our flower pattern. Now this one's nice because it does fill the whole screen. Some of them will, some of them won't. It just depends. We're going to go ahead and save our pattern. Again, you could rename it. You could choose what you wanted to put it under. However you guys decide you want to do this. It's all about the way you want to organize your patterns. We're going to go back into our canvas. And I'm going to make, this time, let's make a circle. So we're going to do a circle. Oops. And we're going to make the circle a little bit bigger because I'm going to use this actually on one of my bigger note pages. So I'm going to make it about 4.5 wide. That's pretty good. Again, we're going to do this one in a pattern. So I'm going to click the scissors and change it to print. I'm going to select patterns. It's going to take a second to load all of our patterns. And we're going to do this in that pretty floral. So click on your pretty floral, and it's going to take a second, and it will load it onto your circle. Now, I will say against the back, it is a little bit hard to see, but trust me, this did stay in a circle. So we have a circle. There you go. You can see the edges a little bit better. We have a square, or a rectangle with the do that we can put at the top, carrot. You guys can be as creative as you want. It's a lot of fun. You can make anything you need to make. Coffee cups, laundry baskets, anything you want to find on Google, you can make into stickers. So we're going to go ahead and go over and make it. Now you'll see that it did rearrange mine. I'm perfectly fine with the way it wants to print these, just so that it saves some space on my sheet, just because this is a fun sheet of me just showing you some of the items that it can do. However, if you don't want it to move your items, if you have them lined up the way you want, you know you can fit that many, all you need to do is select them all. You can either draw the square or hit each item by holding and hold control, and then you would click attach. And what that's going to do is it tells your Cricut not to move your items. Now, if you look, it won't make it because mine is too big for my printer, but I don't care that it's rearranging my items, so all I'm going to do is reselect all of mine, and I'm going to detach them. Because it's fine with me that it moves them around. It's not a big deal. Now let's say that we know that we want to put a carrot on every day that we need to go grocery shopping, and we need 5 carrots. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to the right hand side and click duplicate. This is going to make all these carrots the same size, which is really nice. You won't have to resize them. So you can move them as you wish, but my Cricut, like I said, is going to make them wherever it fits. So just for my own visual, I'm just going to move them off of each other. But I know I want 5 carrots, so I'm just going to hit duplicate 4 times so that I have 5 carrots. And let's say I want a couple more stars. These are going to be for the days I worked out. So I'm going to do 5 stars. Again, you can put them wherever if you don't need to attach them so that your Cricut will print them. You can just move them so you can see that you have all 5 of what you need. I have 5 stars, 5 carrots. So we know what we want now, so we're going to go ahead and click Make It. Now, again, it's going to rearrange in the way that it sees fit and where it's going to fit the most. I'm okay with Cricut doing that just because I made kind of a random selection of items. So what we're going to do is hit Continue, and we're going to send it to the printer. I will show you guys it printing, and I'm going to show you guys how to custom set for when you are using the sticker paper, because I don't have the Cricut brand sticker paper, so it's going to cut a little bit differently. But let's go ahead and send it to the printer, and I will show you it printing. We'll also show you, so you have a couple options here. Obviously, you're going to select the printer you want to send it to, and if you have a full sheet of stickers and you want to make 3 sheets of it because you need them for your entire planner, you can just go here to Copies right here, and you can just put as many copies as you want, and it will print that many pages. Since this is just a silly fun one, I don't need any copies. The bleed, I don't like to leave it on. Some people do. What it does is it kind of expands your color so that when your Cricut cuts it, you're guaranteed to cut within those color lines. If you have calibrated your Cricut, you should have no problem turning the bleed off. If you haven't, leaving the bleed on will help keep it so that your sticker is colored all the way to the edges. I'm going to turn my bleed off. I prefer the look of them. And I'm going to go ahead and click print, and I will show you guys it printing, and then we can cut it, and I will show you really fun stickers. Okay, we're ready to print, and this is the sticker paper I use. It is Avery brand 3383. Got it off of Amazon for about $6 or $7 for, I believe it's 20 sheets. And then this is what your sticker paper looks like. It's just white on one side, and then the back has the directions. So my printer, make sure you know which way to load your printer. I'm going to load my paper with the face up because that's how my printer takes it. And we're just going to send it to printer. So we're going to click print. And what it's going to do now is it's going to print out our stickers on our sheet. Sometimes it takes a few moments to start printing. Don't fret, it's a very big file. Also make sure when you have this that you are using the correct type of printer. This is an inkjet. It's a Canon Pixma MG 3022. I got it on Black Friday. It cost about, I think, $35. I've used it for quite a while. It's really nice. It works well, and it has a scanner. So if you wanted to do any of those types of projects where you need to use a scanner to scan like a signature or something like that, you can do that. So we're going to get it to come out here, and I'll show you what it looks like. This thing does work pretty fast. I am pretty impressed with the color that it provides. It does a really nice job. And when we do this, I'm going to show you the registration marks that it has to have as well. A lot of people have asked why it has the black lines around it. And it's so that when the Cricut goes to cut your projects, it can see where your projects are on your sheet of paper. Without those registration marks, it has no way to know where your items are. It's coming out here, like this one's got a lot of color, a lot of pieces, so it takes a little bit longer. But here is our finished print. So you can see the lines, and those are its registration marks. So we'll go ahead and I'll show you how we set our custom, and then we'll go ahead and cut this out. Okay, so now that we've printed our item on your Cricut, and I have the Explorer Air 2, so yours might be slightly different, but when you go to your Cricut machine, you want to turn your dial to custom, which is all the way to the left. When you do that, it's going to ask you on your screen to set your material. Now, because I'm using an Avery sticker paper, I can't use sticker paper. So what you can do is you're going to go here in categories, and we know that it's a paper, so go ahead and click that, and we're going to scroll down and find sticky note. What that's going to do is it's just going to give it enough of a cut where it doesn't cut through the back of it, but it does cut through just enough of the sticker paper. All right, I will show you guys loading the mat and cutting. Okay, we're back. I'm going to use a light grip mat. This one's pretty well used. I recommend using a mat that has just a little less sticky to it, especially if you're using the Avery paper, because the Avery paper has slits in the back to make the stickers easier to remove when people make them. So just use a less sticky mat. Don't use a brand new. You will rip your stickers. So just like with any project, line it up with your lines. You'll see a lot of people that say, oh, you have to line it up perfectly with this edge piece right here, this light edge. You don't, because of these registration marks. It will cut it just fine. So we're going to go ahead and load our mat. And I'll move this a bit so maybe it'll light that up better for you. Now, make sure that your room isn't super duper bright, because if it is, it won't be able to read your registration marks. This room's pretty dim, but I've had a few people who have some of these LED lamps. I have just a regular lamp, but if you have a super bright LED lamp, you're gonna want to make sure that it's not shining directly on the Cricut. Or just turn it off, because it won't be able to see the registration marks. I'm not sure how well you guys can see on the camera, but there is a light that is reading those marks as it is scanning across our project. And like I said, what that does is it shows it where the edges are of our project, and then it can cut them out accordingly. So what you'll see is it's going to scan those a couple times, and what it's going to do now is it says, okay, I know where I have to cut, and it's going to come over here and it's going to begin our cut. Now, first time you cut these, you do want to make sure that you calibrate your machine. You can do that up in the settings. In the upper left-hand corner, there is an options menu over there. And in your settings, you can do calibrate. That'll just help your machine know exactly where it's going to cut. So now we're going to cut out the carrots. It does cut pretty quickly, depending on the complexity of your designs. So if you have lots of tiny little things, it will it will definitely need to take a little bit longer. So we're going to let this finish cutting, and then when we come back, I'll show you our stickers. All right, it's done cutting. We're ready to unload our mat, so we're just going to click unload, just like you would with any of your vinyl projects. And you're going to carefully peel, because again, sticker paper's pretty thin, so just slowly peel it off of your mat. Again, use a less sticky mat, and it will help. Slide my mat under there, and you can see the colors. It's really nice. And I'll just go ahead and peel one of these little stars for you. And there we go. We have our stickers. Hopefully you guys can see this. I'm going to move that light a little bit for you. But here is our star sticker. I'll stick it over here so maybe you guys can see it a little bit better. But we just cut that out. We have our to-do. We have that. And you'll see that it didn't cut through the back of the paper. You can see where you pulled your stickers off, but it didn't cut through the back. That's one of the best parts about using the sticky note. It won't cut through your backing. The first time I made these, and I just tested this because this paper is a little bit different, it did, you can see, cut through on a few parts. So that was kind of a pain, but we figured out how to fix it, and like you said, just make sure that you choose sticky note if you're using the Avery paper. If you guys have any questions, please leave them below. I love helping you guys out learn this stuff. It's so much fun. Make sure you show me your projects. I love seeing how creative you guys get. I absolutely adore your creativity. Make sure you do subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos all the time. Hit that little bell button because it will alert you when I put out a new video. And if you have any requests for any tutorials, please let me know below. I hope you guys had a really great time learning how to make some super fun stickers.